I'd marry Jack.
Marry Jack.
Alright, question time. I'm joined by Mr. Reggie Fassa, and we're going to do a nice little 400 metre loop around the track.
And it's going to be known as the 400 for now on, isn't it?
That's a good name, Reggie. So we put out on Instagram just yesterday, just questions for myself and Reg, so we'll just fire through. We got 14 questions I think in total, and then we've got 5 bonus questions that Reggie's going to ask me, and 5 bonus questions that I'll...
6.
You got 6?
I got 6, I've got a bonus question in there.
So, first question, chalky milk or protein shake?
I'm going to have to go with chalky milk. From M&S, white chocolate roll.
M&S.
So you just got the little pay rise in there.
Got a few
sponsors. You can afford it. You can afford it.
I'd go, yeah, chalky milk. Although, yeah, Wade protein shake's good. This is where, Reggie, you should have plugged your supplement sponsor. Yeah.
Maybe go back. Yeah.
So chalky milk or protein shake?
Definitely foods bring protein.
Wow. Who is taller?
Well, Steve's got me on a squat program at the minute, and I'm 100% shrinking off it.
Stand still. Who's taller?
He's got me squatting fucking twice a week, man. I'm losing it.
Biggest thing you've had to overcome now, seeing as you're one of the top UK CrossFitters. I presume that's a question that they're asking you. You
can tell me yours first.
After kind of probably being known as like one of the UK's top CrossFitters for a couple of years, it was then just handling the expectation, probably more so that you put on yourself to stay like one of the UK's top CrossFitters. Yeah. More so, I'd say, than like I don't think I was ever really bothered about the perception of other people.
Yeah. I would say, the expectation you put on yourself.
Yeah.
Like when you walk in Asda and you're the fittest kid in Asda, you're like, God.
I used to think
stress.
the same.
Did you actually?
I used to think any room I'd walk in, I'd check every now and room and go, yeah, I'm fit.
Yeah, totally.
Have you ended open? No. You have to play side than you. I think the 2019 season, when they started doing national champs.
Yeah.
I think that put a little bit of a twist on the whole everything about this question, where the biggest things you've got to deal with, because it made, like in the past, like UK athletes were always like, everyone was against each other when they got to regionals, but up until regionals everyone was like training, like helping each other out, and I felt like that year changed like the scene a little bit, because it came about like, if we were both competing, it would be, well, it's me against you, and we're not telling each other scores. We're probably not going to come and train together because I don't want to help you and you don't want to help me, because we're actually fighting for a game spot straight back at the over belt. I felt personally anyway that negatively impacted like UK CrossFit in terms of like the high level. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Good. I'm glad he agrees. This is a cute one. What's your best memory together?
Best memory.
All the good memories there.
There's a few like garage memories where people just wouldn't appreciate. You've got to be there. You've got to be there.
Yeah.
Or probably quarterfinals last year.
Last year?
Yeah.
I'm going outside of CrossFit. It's still exercise.
Yeah. Were you going to say top of hard knot?
Yeah. Well, Lakeland Loop.
Well, when I passed him with top of hard knot, when he started 5 minutes ahead of me, and he unclipped a couple of bends before the top, and I was like, Steve, what are you doing there, mate? He's like, my legs are just cramping, brother. I was like, it's okay, mate, I've got this one first.
Right, what it was, I'll translate it a little bit. We went and did the Lakeland Loop, which is like a, what was it, 100 mile?
110k.
110 kilometres, what, 80 miles or so. Loop around the lakes on our bikes. And basically, any hill, any little bit of a slight incline we got to throughout the whole day, it was a race. And I won every single race up until that point.
We actually kept going the wrong way because of it as well.
Yeah, we did. We missed a few turns. So we got giddy. And then it came to Hard Knot Pass, which if people don't know is like it's the second hardest climb in Europe.
Yeah.
And I was about a good 100 metres ahead, wasn't I?
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah. And took this 30-degree gradient, a little bit bad turning, and then my legs gave in cramp. And the chugger train came.
Oh, the age kicked in.
And he kept ploughing past, and you got upset up, didn't you?
Yeah. I was breathing though. Someone was videoing like about 10 miles away, and you could hear us breathing on the camera, man.
But I think for me that was like, I don't know, just think the day was just...
Yeah, it was just class day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then bonking hard after it though. Remember you didn't have your dad for being in a sport car? I only took a bottle of water, man. Who was that kid? Joe didn't even have clips. He didn't have clip-ins.
You came with not even a bottle of water, it was a shot glass.
It was a shot, and then one of them squeezy things. I don't know. Steve, what's this?
Yeah, I'd probably say quarterfinals was good last year, but I feel like the best memory.
I did like banging Battle for Middle Ground with you as well.
Yeah,
that was quite cool. That. Good memories.
What's the biggest thing you've learned from each other? What's the biggest thing you've learned from me, and then I'll tell you.
Quite humble. I think it's like even around your mates and whatever you've achieved in CrossFit, like you're very humble with it. You don't blow smoke up people's arse, or like when you talk sense and it means something. It's not like white noise when people get a little smoke blown up their arse. Like I like how hard you are to please, and I've only had a couple of well dones off them, and I don't even think I got one off quarterfinals. I think the biggest time I impressed him was on the open workout with a couple of burpees in.
But that was probably one of the most. Not just the performance, but like the approach. I feel like that was a point, and this is probably coming into my answer, as what I've tried to teach you, as like how to approach workouts in a different way, how to plan them and strategize them better. As like I think you just got into CrossFit and your way of going about it was just send it from the get-go. No matter what it was just like if I try the hardest I can, and from the very beginning, like that's me giving me my full effort.
Which I feel I thought was the fastest time, but it's not.
But it never always give you the best result.
Yeah.
And I think that was why that sticks out as probably, the point where I've been like probably the proudest in terms.
So
of
I remember you walked in and you were like, "Do you want any write any splits down, mate?" And I just pointed at the board. I was like,
it was all on the whiteboard.
And he was just like, here we go.
For me, that was something that I don't know if it just kind of naturally, just gradually, like started taking that on board myself when I was an athlete, is how to communicate that and teach that to someone else, like that approach. How many sessions per week and macros for Reggie?
I don't really count my macros, it's just normally my carbs, get my carbs in. So, like Fran give me some harassment for having me Cocoa Pops after my sessions. That's what I meant to do.
How many carbs per day are?
He's trying to get up to like 700 grams per day. It's quite naughty. Like, so you're drinking quite a lot of your carbs.
Quick maths, that's 2,800 calories of carbs itself.
And a lot of it's fizzy stuff. Me teeth are chattering of it. Especially when you brush them when you feel like it.
I reckon your calories then are probably 4,500 to 5,000. In terms of training sessions per week, currently you're on 8 hours of steady state cardio, and I'd probably say you've got another 15 hours of training in other areas. 23 hours a week currently. That's going to come up the next few weeks.
We haven't had a full rest day yet as well. This is the 10th day, probably.
10th day.
Currently of training.
Full-time athlete is going on, then it's his 10th day in a row.
This is a PB, man. And then if it's a good day on Sunday as well, if the weather isn't shit on Sunday, we're going to back it up with 20 days.
How many days are in a week, like?
No, because then you go follow it on a Monday, and then you don't come round until the next Sunday.
Worst workout steers program for Reggie?
Well, I've had some tantrums over the past year, being down here. But it's either 1 hour max distance on the rower with a stroke rate. I'm sure it was like 32 strokes a minute, which like people are like, what are you on about? Like that's a fast stroke rate you've got to keep for an hour.
Yeah, it's in and out with the hand.
Fucking cheese strings, man, were peeling off. And there was one, it was like a long chipper, and on paper it didn't look bad until you were fucking 45 minutes deep into it.
That was
that was literally me. My head was against the wall, debating life, debating what am I doing. Kept looking at Steve for sympathy. He was giving us absolutely nada. I was like, Steve, my hands are about to rip, mate. Watch. And I was like, he's actually doesn't even bothered with that laptop. I'm going to ram that laptop with his arse here in a minute. And I'm actually going to make my hands rip just to prove how much they're lashing here. It was disgusting. Like you've tested me with
that was the 2012 games chipper. It started with it was like power cleans, box overs or something.
It was power. Was it not power? Overhead squats.
10. But we did a 15, 15, 15s.
Yeah.
10, 10, 10s. 5-5-5s, 10-10-10s, 15s,
Yeah.
like with a rest in between each rep. Yeah.
So
Anyway.
it was an hour and a half of just absolutely minging us. Like, we need to rattle through these because we've got about 100 metres left on this.
This might turn into an 800.
100 chat. Fran's collected a lot of pigeon shit off the old tootsies here.
How have you found the move to Wigan?
I feel like it was a bit similar to when I went my move to a boarding school, where it was just out my comfort zone with like not being around my friends on a reg and just getting used to surroundings, being around here. Like, it took some time to get used to it now. Love it.
Like home.
Yeah. I couldn't go back there with my ma or dad like this. Fucking drained me. My ma came down a little bit long ago to clean the house. And she was just rattling. She was like, your tea's ready, your tea's ready. I was like, shut up, just give us 5 minutes. I'm coming down the stairs. Your tea's going to get cold. Oh, yeah, man. Just leave us alone, like.
One thing you learned from last season?
Save the beans when it really counts. Rather than like whoever comes up open quarterfinals, it's just the next step.
And in terms of beans, like, in what sense do you mean?
As in
beans?
just like controlling your stress, like with getting amped up. There's always going to be like.
Because I wouldn't say the effort that you're applying into the workouts, like through the open quarters,
You're not
any
saying
different.
No. It's like how dialed in, switched on.
Yeah, like the planning that we said about that open workout, like the intensity of like that approach. That would probably be my lesson as well as a coach. It's just when I need to be like more involved or like more helpful, is just step away and just gradually be there to help more when like the more important times come in, like just in a quarters, but then in the next couple of months as we lead into semis.
Yeah.
How long do you think till we will see a Brit back on the podium at the games? It's only ever been Briggsy.
Yeah.
2013.
It's got to be pretty special to be on the podium at games. Like, it's a goal to have, isn't it?
So how long does it take you then?
As long as a piece of string, like.
Can Reggie or Mikey complete the Battle for Middle Ground 22.1 workout with dumbbell 12 down to 1?
Yeah, I had some lad message me saying that he thinks I'm the only person that can complete this workout, and I'm really looking into it. What is it? 12 down to 1
12 down to 1.
thrusters.
Dumbbell devil's press. Dumbbell box step overs with 22.5 dumbbells. Add 11, 65, 66, 78. That's a lot of reps.
in 16 minutes.
I think it'll be close. This is a good question, this. Have you two ever fallen out or questioned each other's motivation or logic?
After that 1 hour row.
And is that the point where we didn't speak that much for the next month?
I was like, this road shite Steve. Piss off, mate.
I think like that time of year last season after it was after semi-finals, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When the disagreement was at first. Hey, watch yourself there, all right?
Yeah, one cameraman down by a sniper. Someone in the slips catching Phil Roy.
The conversation went, Steve, I'm ready to go back training, like 1 week later, and I was like, no, like 3 weeks minimum. But you decided that's what you wanted to do, and then
You did break me after that.
The training was.
I feel like you've got to go through that. You've got to learn it to go through that rather than not. If I just took the advice, and I would have been. If I questioned it, but like, well, why did I have to wait that long? Whereas I've learned the hard way. And
I think that's helped you, like say, like dial down the beans as well, like having the experience.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
And I think it took until like Arnold Fitness Games just to be like, right, get back on it.
Yeah, we can train again now.
Yeah.
When I've had people like Phil Roy and Evander going against us, I was like, no, it's like, we've been doing the bare minimum, yeah.
What exercise should be deleted from CrossFit? This was actually one of my personal questions to you. So
What was it?
it's just from me, this.
Swimming deadlift 5 pulls.
Yeah?
It was absolutely hanging.
Should we just say deadlifts then? Because that would be mine.
With deadlift? And what are you getting from the deck after that?
What do you mean? We just do some pig flips, some power cleans. Like if you're cleaning 160, what's the point in deadlifting anymore? It's just dangerous, man.
Back like a slinky man.
Is there a bias towards US athletes at the games e.g. semi-final spots?
I think on coverage there definitely is.
Yeah.
Unless you're a big name in Europe, anyways. Some lads who've been in the games and they've got like no exposure at all.
Yeah.
But with game spots, I feel like there definitely should be more game spots out.
I feel like over the years, it used to be just 3 spots to Europe, and then it extended in 2015, I think it was, to 5. And then since then it's opened up to now 10. So there's like it's progressively coming, but I feel like it's just always a year or two too slow.
Yeah,
I think.
for the standard of athletes, especially in Europe.
Do you have your questions for me? We'll go one for one.
Yeah. Who would you train with for a full week of training out of Matt Fraser, Lance Armstrong, or Steven Gerrard?
So I presume if I'm training with Gerrard, I'm training with the Liverpool team he was in as well.
Yeah.
Gerrard.
Yeah.
And obviously not just going to be like him and Gerrard. You and Gerrard playing football for a week would be a bit awkward, but Gerrard and being in the Liverpool team. I don't know if the question between training in Liverpool when Gerrard was there and training now, and like arguably the best team in the world, would be a tough one. But Gerrard is the boy. Just loved everything about what he did, like his attitude, like his work ethic, how good he was on the ball, like he was fast, he was physical. Just like a northern lad who just got stuck in and no nonsense. I feel like that's who I always try to be. I didn't try and beat him, but that's the type of person I was always as a footballer. You look at your programme, you've got 90 minutes zone 2 cardio. What mind games and conversations do you have with yourself to get through? Give me some examples.
90 minutes, full through, no rest.
It's like a long graft.
I try and switch off and just think about the season ahead and
do you play do you role play through any?
I have role plays and fucking
God, this is what I was leading to with the question.
Mad things not even not even if it's cardio, if I'm squatting by myself, fucking amping up the crowd in the room when it's not even there. For a 140 front squat.
Do you do that often then? Put yourself in?
Yeah, I do.
Visualise
competition. Yeah, different workouts, different scenarios. Gets me through it. And then by the time you've boxed a minute on the machine, and you're like, shit, when you got 129 minutes.
Do you know one thing that sticks out in my mind, and I remember telling you a story about it? I did 60 minutes skiing, and I'd been building up each week, and it was just gradual.
I remember
2-minute paces, 2:05, and for some reason I started just skiing at my pace that I needed to hold, and about 5 minutes in I started thinking about, what if this was an event at Strength and Depth, and to me right was Elliot Simmons and Josh Oshman, and there was all these other people, and all the top people in the UK. It's and then what if someone then told me that the winning time
was the average split?
The average split was a 1:54 pace, and I was supposed to be holding a 2:05. And then because I did create this scenario in my head, I did an hour at 1:52. I finished it at fucking 1. And then I sat down and I was just
no list
and I was
now.
knackered for the next few days. I was just that's stupid.
I remember I do that with biking all the time. If I can hear a car behind us, I was this bend, I'm beating this car, this next bend. This car doesn't know about it, but the race is on. What sport would you have liked to turn pro in if you didn't turn your hand to CrossFit?
I think football, but what puts me off is probably the amount of media attention that you get.
Draining.
I'd like to be a pro footballer in League 2, League 1, Championship, where you probably don't know many names of many people. You're a bit of a local hero, but doesn't really extend much further. And you're obviously still getting good wedge.
Yeah, it must be hard work with it.
Any top Ronaldo, you can't go to the shop with your kid because you just get mobbed.
No.
I feel like that would put me off a little bit.
Yeah. So you'd be football then?
Yeah, I think so. I quite like watching the league here. Yeah. I feel like it's a sport that I could have.
The crack with the lads training.
Yeah, and just the attitude, and when you watch them have the little chats and stuff and what they're about. I feel like I could have took to that quite well. Cod or caffeine?
Cod or caffeine?
You can only choose one for the rest of your life. What are you picking? Cod over caffeine?
100%, mate. 100%. That is like a drug in itself. It's like my caffeine.
What would you do for these
Just get through them, mate. Just get through them. Knowing that I can get a PlayStation to turn it up when I can, it'll get me through it. Any pre-comp rituals you would have back in the day?
Yours are serious questions. Pre-comp rituals. I have to stop and think about this one. Any food you'd have? I'd more like training sessions that I'd do. Like making sure that like my body was switched on and I was feeling good, and I was always kind of like in the weeks leading up do certain like workouts that would boost the morale a little bit.
You talk in your sleep about CrossFit.
Talk in my sleep quite a lot, just because of how much was on my mind.
I get bad twitches.
Did I have any other rituals other than?
Not really, but you don't want to do anything like eat out or go on social.
Yeah, I would really get aware of like, because I'd be thinking about it so much, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Like, if I took myself away from thinking about it, I felt a little bit on edge that like, if I was putting my mind elsewhere, I was losing potential, like things that I could be thinking about, which would make me like sharper or something, or like, and you know, it's quite draining, but it didn't. I'd never felt that it drained me before a competition. It'd be draining like after when you go, you can settle down. But I felt like it was something that I was quite good at. A ghost's real. See how serious my questions are compared to yours. Are ghosts real?
I've seen 2 ghosts, like, but my ghost story is shite. My ghost story is shite.
Tell us then.
I was in my nana's house, and I just seen this ghost the first time, and I was like, "Whoa, what was that?" And then the second time I seen it,
what did the ghost look like?
it was just like this figure came over the bed. And then the second time, this one was just like swaying past this little. Because the first time I would have a little breathing hole.
What Mikey was it?
No, it wasn't mine. God, it might be in dressing gown, mate, just flapping on the wind. But it looked like a ghost to me, and I literally built the confidence, launched the quilt on the side of the room, and just pegged it at me. Like a dive bar knocked me Nana, elbow dropped her in the head. I was like, yeah, Nana, I'm sleeping here tonight, like, because there's a ghost in there. And she rubbed me back to sleep.
How old were you?
And that was only a couple of years ago. 3 lifetime sponsors in anything.
If I could choose 3 sponsors, spent a lot of money at Nando's, like.
Black Nando's card?
Yeah, that would probably.
You reckon?
Free food, man.
Airlines? I don't know.
You still have to pay for the hotel now.
Like a car sponsor would be.
Of course.
Decent.
You
Car
reckon?
sponsor, yeah. You get
Not
free,
a bike
free cars for the
sponsor.
rest of your life.
I mean, I'd have giant me.
What, free so you can get a £5 bike? Go on a fucking £100 car.
You could just sell it to get a £5 bike.
A food sponsor, so Tesco's or something.
Tesco's?
Sainsbury's.
What's
I'm thinking
this
about
like?
saving money.
I mean, you can go with Nando's.
Food prep though, he does all your cooking as well.
Oh yeah, like whether it's a sponsor or not, I would like a chef. If I got very, very rich at any point in my life, I'd employ a chef. Like, just to cook me like unreal delicious
Banging food.
Yeah, all the time.
On a reg.
That's why. Do you know what? That's why I think that. Obviously, there's many other reasons, but Matt Fraser was so good.
Yes.
Sammy's like can just cook unreal food.
It's
and she loves
unreal
cooking
food,
it.
yeah.
It's not
I feel like it's not a chore to her.
yeah,
Because
so he comes in from training, it's just like all this mint food.
be motivating you through sessions.
Exactly. That's a good question. This. In my left hand, I've got a games ticket, and you've earned it.
Yeah.
In my right hand, I've got £1 million.
100% games.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Do you know what the Philroy picked?
£1 million?
£1 million.
You're mad.
So I can sort my rehab out. then I'm going
get
to the
to the
games.
games.
Yeah, man.
To be fair, £1 million quid would help getting yourself to the game.
Food sorted and
It
that.
would help, like, but it doesn't do the work for you, does it?
I'd still put the work
But you
in.
just get the £1 million, then get to the games.
Yeah, but still never guaranteed, is it? You still got to do the work. You've got to perform. I would still pick the games ticket.
Yeah, I think I would, yeah.
That's my last question. You got any more?
Yeah. What's your all-time favourite track?
Music track?
Gotta be Kano.
That's
Yeah, it's a
that
Kano.
6 minute long one.
A car.
Fire in the booth, yeah.
Oh yeah, the Fire in the Boot. 60 minutes live.
60 minutes
It's a
live.
long
'Cause
track.
it's- yeah.
but it's like
Just covers all bases, doesn't it?
that's what I've played the most out of everything. I think that's what I've listened to the most over the years.
I've got one more bonus question.
One.
Snog, marry, and hear someone eat for the rest of your life. Jack, Sammy, and Mikey.
Yeah, Sammy. That was the main thing I'm thinking about there. I don't care. I'm still gonna. I don't care. I'm just trying to think.
Have you seen how Jack eats a bagel? Because fucking hell.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. I'm picking who because eating noises are not a thing. I feel like Sammy would be the quietest eater, so he's just going there straight off. I'd marry Jack.
Marry Jack.
I'd stop Mikey.
Jack could be a good husband, to be fair.
Yeah, he would.
Right, Timo.
basically is my husband at the moment, to be honest. We've been like 700 metres. See ya.
Pieces.
What about his slip against Chelsea?
Delete that.
Ooh.
Delete that. At the time, I wasn't really following football that much, so
Yeah.
I'm not too like sensitive about it.
Oh.
So